Hey everyone, Laura Cameron-Stedman here. I am going to talk about some cool stuff today. Hold on, I'm sitting in this pillow. I'm like, ugh. My skirt's getting all caught up in my legs. Or my legs are getting caught up in my skirt. That sounds more like it. All right. So, what I want to talk to you today is all about figuring out what you want and why you're not getting it. So, hold on. I'm going to move this over. I got double monitors, which is great. So I can see if anybody's like, asking me something, which you totally can. Totally ask me something if you want. And I will do my best to answer it for you. Okay, so this is a big one. Actually, figuring out what you want is huge for people because you can't, I don't know if you've, seen me before and what I talk about, but you have to you have to visualize what you want and how it feels after all, like the actual end thing that you really, really want. That is what we're trying to find. And most people will focus on what they don't want. They focus on the reasons that they don't have what they want. They focus on just the things in the middle between what they want, what they really want, and themselves, that if they fixed those things, they could get to. But instead of focusing on these things, we want to focus on the actual thing that you want. And people find that tough to figure out what that is. So if you follow the law of attraction at all, Esther Hicks, who I love, I think she's freaking amazing, or Abraham, or anyway, absolutely amazing and fantastic, and love everything about it. And I think that when you've been listening to that stuff for as long as I have and reading about that stuff for as long as I have, sometimes it takes time for it to click. Like you listen to the same thing over and over and over again, but you really it doesn't click. It takes some time. It takes other people saying it. It takes, hearing it from different people that explain it in a slightly different way really helps sometimes, just to kind of solidify the idea. That's why I always tell people, listen to as many people as you can, read as many different people as you can, because even though they're saying the same thing, how they say it and what they say and your experiences of your life could be a little bit more in sync with theirs, with how they are describing it. So, how to figure out what you want is, it can be a bit tricky. Here are some things you can do, though, to make it a little bit easier. Take a situation that you're not happy in. So you take a situation, say you are not earning the money that you want, or your job sucks, or you're not happy with your body where it is, or you can take any situation. What you want to do is figure out what you dislike about that situation. Like, what is it about that is really making you upset, or that you really don't want? So for example, if it was a job or something like that that you were unhappy with, what is it about that job that makes you unhappy? They don't appreciate the work that I do. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not getting paid enough. My coworkers are, I don't know, whatever. Like, figure out all the things that make you unhappy about where you are. And if you think about it, then the opposite of that a lot of times is what you want. So you're unhappy because you don't feel appreciated. What you want is to feel appreciated. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is a really easy way to just kind of go, like, make a list. These are the things that really, bother me about the situation I'm in. I'm not making enough money. What do I not like about that? I feel like crappy because I go to the store and I can't buy whatever I want. Like, and then, hi Rick. And then figure that out. Figure out all the stuff that about the situation that you don't like. And then just look at the opposite of that and go, Oh, well, if I don't like this because of this situation, because of this, if the opposite were true, would I be happy? Actually, I would be. That'd be awesome. If they appreciated me at work, I would feel great. That's what I really want. So those are the ways, some of the ways that you can kind of figure out what you want. So they're on the same, two ends of the same stick. I don't like this. If it was like this, the opposite of this, I think that'd be great. So that is a really easy way to figure out exactly what it is that you want. Now, when it comes to things like, I don't know what I want to do for my life, for a living, or those sorts of things, I mean, looking at the things you don't like about where you are now is still, I mean, you're not going to possibly go, oh, I work at a zoo and I really should be an accountant. Like, it's not going to probably be kind of that, but the tasks that you do, the people that you're around, how do you want to be treated? What kind of a relationship do you want with the rest of your coworkers? What kind of a relationship do you want with your manager or your boss? Do you want to be the boss? Like, those sorts of things, the actual kind of everyday stuff about your job, not necessarily the actual job that it is. You can find those things when you do this technique, when you kind of try to figure out, well, I really don't like this about this job. I should probably have a job where the opposite is true. I don't like talking to customers, so I need a job where I'm not talking to customers. Do you know what I mean? Like, it can be that simple. And then once you found out, make a list, put 2 columns on a paper, put the things I really don't like and the things that I want to get away from. And then on the other side, the opposite of that. If it has to do with your body, I feel yucky. I don't want to feel, I feel like I can't control what I eat, or I feel yucky when my clothes don't fit. I feel, how do you want to feel when you look in the mirror? When my clothes are too tight, I feel horrible. How do you want to, what's the opposite of that? I look in the mirror and I feel fantastic. That's what you want. Yeah? That's the stuff that you're going to put in your visualization and how you feel when you're in that alpha state, morning and night, when you are, lay down in your bed, going to sleep, that in-between state. Focus on what you want and how that feels. And the same when you wake up in the morning, do the same thing. Tell your subconscious mind what you want. That's all this is. This is not, it has nothing to do with the peripheral stuff. It has nothing to do with the way other people make you feel. It has nothing to do with things that have happened in your life. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. That stuff can, it's not about having to fix those relationships and fix what's happened to you and how you feel about those things first before you can do this. You don't have to do this. If you think about successful people are people who focus on what they want and they go for it, and they don't focus on the reasons why they don't have what they want. They don't focus on the things that have happened in their life, even if they're crappy things. Like, lots of us have had really shitty things happen to us in our lives, me included, and it's not about making those things okay. It has nothing to do with that. All it is giving your subconscious mind pictures and the feeling that it needs to go, oh, that's what you want. Like, you can imagine that your subconscious mind is like a submarine captain, and it has not, like, the periscope's broken. It has no outside, it can't see what's going on. It's not a judge of what's going on, nothing. The only thing it has to go by is pictures and the feelings that you give it. So you have to understand that it isn't about, it's not about judgment. Your subconscious mind doesn't care about making, what other people, and it's kind of a weird way to say it, but it only cares about this. What do you want? What pictures are you going to show me? What feeling are you going to, show me? I'm going to try to get that for you. I'm doing what I can to get that for you. That's it. That's all the subconscious mind is there for. Feelings, pictures, this is what I want. I'm going for it. Okay, feeling is the key. Feeling and pictures. So here's another thing that I just want you to know. And I will get back on the other topic in just a second. But this is one of the hardest things that people, when I'm helping people, this is one of the things that's the hardest for them to get behind. The reason that you want the things that you want, and if you watch Abraham Hicks, you will hear Esther Hicks say this. The reason you want the things you want is because you'll feel good in getting them. Now, the subconscious mind is the pictures that and the feelings that you give your subconscious mind is an order that you're placing with your subconscious mind. That's going to be like, okay, this is what you want. Let's get it. Everything that you put in your subconscious mind, your mind's going, okay. So if you're putting in, you're always thinking about how you're not, like, that you're not feeling great, that you're feeling crap, that you are, if only I would have a better job, I'd feel better. The pictures and the feelings that you're giving your subconscious mind are, I'm not happy. I'm not happy, I'm not happy, I'm not happy. And the subconscious mind is going, okay, let's do some more of that. I'm not happy. Okay, here's some more things to not be happy about. You're just giving it pictures and feelings. That's all it's doing. It's going, okay. Read the book, The Inner Genie. I believe it's what it's called. It's fantastic. It'll talk all about that. But yeah, feeling, and pictures that you give your subconscious mind is the key. And if you can just understand that it has nothing to do with all the crap. Has nothing to do with all the crap. And God knows we've all had lots of crap. It has nothing to do with the crap. All you're doing is you're focusing, putting your blinders on, focusing on what you want. And that's what you're telling your subconscious mind. And you're not doing the, yeah, but if I focus on that, then the people that, made me feel like this are going to get away. No, it has nothing to do with that. Just focus on what you want and how you want to feel. And that is what you need to do. And that's why we don't get what we want, because we're always focusing on the reasons we don't have what we want. And when you say that, when you think that, this is why I don't have what I want, you're telling your subconscious mind that you don't have what you want. And it's going, okay, you don't have what you want. Let's do some more of that. So, yeah. Now, here is another thing that holds us back from figuring out what we want. People pleasing. Now, this is, hi Dale, this is massive, and we do this a lot. People pleasing stops us from actually figuring out what we really want. And a lot of it has to do with people pleasing, but it has to do with shoulds. So when we're growing up, we're like, you should want this, you should want that, you should try to make other people happy. And we do that too. So now when we're getting older, we're trying to figure out what we want. It's all about, well, we should want to and even if it is like, say for example, I'm going to give you an example. If what you really want is like, I want $1 million, let's do a full example with $1 million. All right, I want to be rich, I want to make $1 million, and that's going to be the best thing ever. So let's go through that, figure out, because you know what you really want isn't $1 million. What? Seriously, what you want is not $1 million. The $1 million is the tool to get what you really want, which is on the other side of the $1 million. This is what I'm talking about. You need to focus on that, what you really want. So even if you figured out why you wanted $1 million, and even if you figured out at the other end what all that means, a lot of times you're not actually figuring out what you really want. You're figuring out what you should want. Yes? You hear this a lot from people. And it's understandable, because you want to be helpful and you want people to like you and things like that. But a lot of times people say, I want $1 million because then I can help people, I can help my family, I can help, which is completely fantastic, altruistic, all that good stuff, fantastic. But a lot of times in that is a people-pleasing there's a little bit of a people-pleasing thing there, which means that it's not actually the freedom, the ease, all of that stuff, like not having to worry, all that stuff is kind of together with, and gosh darn it, people will like me, kind of comes into that as well. So it's a people-pleasing, you're making the reason that you want the things that you want, and people-pleasing, putting them together, because then it's like, well, then I'm doubly awesome. I'm going to make lots of money and people will like me. But then you're also telling your subconscious mind that if you're trying to please people, that means that there's a reason for that. So there's always two sides to the stick. I want to please people. That means you're not pleasing people at the moment, right? And if you're not pleasing people at the moment, a lot of times what happens with people pleasing is that we don't go after what we want because it will make other people feel bad. Let's go, for example, so if you're comparing money and body, if I did it with a body, then you kind of understand. Because when you say money and you make a bunch of money and people go, well, that's great, then you can give it to people and everybody be happy and you'll make other people happy. But what they fail to realize is, if you look at the body stuff, it's exactly the same thing. The feelings are exactly the same. So if you say, I want to get a really nice body, and what's the feelings that's going to cause in other people around you, especially when it comes to people pleasing? Because it has nothing to do with, you can't give it to somebody. You can't exercise so much that somebody else loses 10 pounds. You can't. It's not possible. It's not something that you can give. So if your goal is to get in really good shape, then nobody else can partake in that. And then what are the feelings that that's going to cause? Because it's the same with money. Even though you're kind of going, I can be a people pleaser if I make a bunch of money, still that, like, the feelings of getting that are the same. You don't want to get these things because other people they might compare themselves to you, and then they'll feel bad, and then you won't be people pleasing because you're making other people feel bad because you're leveling up. It's a little bit confusing, but trust me, if you think about your body and money as one in the same, like it's in the same category. If you have a really nice body and you probably are good with money, like they just kind of go together. So look at those two things together, and you'll understand a little bit better. Anyway, I don't know if I didn't explain that very well, but they are linked, completely linked. It's good to know. Anyway, so you have to figure out what you want without feeling guilty, without feeling shameful, without feeling like if people compare themselves to you, they're going to come out less. You have to let that go. You have to let other people live their own life and let other people have their own wants and have their own. Everybody has the ability to help themselves. Everybody has the ability to focus on what they want. And sometimes, like it took me a really long time to get to this point. So sometimes it does, it is a long process. But don't feel bad about that. Instead of letting people pull you down so that they feel better because you're less, pull them up, like help them to visualize what they really want, help them to figure out what they really want, and help them to realize that they can do it. Because this is what we're doing. We are not living up to our potential. If you're not happy, you're not living up to your potential. And that's what that's what we should all be striving for. Not somebody else's potential, not somebody else's what they have, the plan they have for you. Not somebody else's, this is what I'm good at, so you should be good at it too. None of that. Figure out what you are good at, and just realize that That's amazing. Not everybody's good at that thing that you're good at. And find the positive about it. Find other people who are doing the same thing, who have the same skills at you and are using them in a successful way. Find people who you can go, you know what? I can see that the things that I have, the strengths that I have are strengths and not weaknesses, because all these people are telling me that I need to be like them and I'm not. Seriously, it's freaking amazing. Okay. So how to figure out what you really want. Let's go just quickly, because I kind of went on a rant. I do go on a bit of a tangent most of the time. Yeah, pretty much most of the time. How to figure out what you really want. Look at what you have that you don't want and look at the opposite of that. And be okay with asking for the best version of that. Like, visualize the best possible outcome of that. Not, and here's another thing. If it's about work or if it's about relationships, a lot of times this is what we do. We go, well, if that person would start acting like this, then I would feel better. But you don't go that extra step. You don't go the extra step that says, what actually would a really good, really fantastic relationship with this person look like? What would, like, seeing them on a daily basis, what would make me go, man, I'm so glad that they're in my life? And this is a really tough one for some people, because they're like, that person's a douchebag. I'm not gonna like think about that. But it isn't about actually having that relationship with them. It's about seeing them on another level, number one. And it is about seeing good things in them instead of just focusing on all the bad stuff. But it's not about them. It's about you. And it's about you going, it's okay for me to be happy. We don't let ourselves be happy. We do not let ourselves be happy. It's like this, it's the thing I get fought on the most from people. Feeling great attracts feeling great. I know that sounds weird, but if you want to be, the reasons that you are like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, is because you want to be happy. You want to feel great. Here is a really easy way to start doing that. Dress every day so you feel great. Like, and this is like, for me, this is what was my problem, why I didn't do this for a long time. It was like, well, you just want me to like dress a certain way so that you think I look nice. No, I'm not talking about anybody else's way that they think you make. Like, you're not dressing for your husband. You're not dressing for your wife. You're not dressing for your boss. You're not dressing for like society and fashion magazines and bullshit. No, you're not dressing for anybody but you. This is all about you. This is all about feeling bloody fantastic, feeling great. This is about looking in the mirror and going, damn, like, feeling good is the most important thing to attracting the life you want, attracting a life that makes you feel good. If you feel like shit, you attract shit. That's just it. If you're like, I feel lumpy and dumpy and gross, you want cake. Like, you want, if you feel, you attracted the things that you're telling your subconscious mind, I feel like crap. It's going to be like, cool, let's go eat some stuff that will make you feel even crappier. Like, it's actually like, it's almost like, if you can think about it, exciting, like, yay, let's go have cake. Let's go like get right ripping like drunk and like fall down and like whatever. You are telling your subconscious mind these things. And it's not for anybody else, but for you, when you say, I want to feel great. And so here's the other thing. These are the things that I used to tell myself. I'm short. I'm never going to find clothes that fit me. I'm not like, my body isn't, how I want it to be, on and on and on. So I found things. I'll go to H&M. I got this cute skirt. It was like $45. It's cute. I got lots of tops. They're not expensive, but they make me feel good because they're in a specific style that I like. I like kind of like midi skirts and little sweaters and little tops. I like that. And so figure out what that is for you. Figure out what it is when you look in the mirror and you dress the way you want to dress. Imagine like when you were like a teenager, when you were like, you know, and you wouldn't leave the house without makeup. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about actually, because when you were a teenager, you were like, does everybody like me? Does everybody like me? Huh? And you did that like look around thing. You were like, see, look, I had the biggest hair you've ever seen in your life. Like massive. My hair, my bangs were down to here. And when I put them up in the Barbie flip thing, they came to here. It was freaking huge. But now what I'm talking about is I walk down the street and I don't worry about what other people are thinking of me. And I don't compare myself to other people because I feel good. And when you give yourself that picture and that feeling, here's a thing. And I've said this before in other videos. So going to the gym for a really long time, not having the best look, but since I started doing this, since I started going into alpha, picturing what I wanted, feeling what I wanted to feel, I'm doing intermittent fasting, and it's been totally fine. Like, I'm not hungry. When I'm going to eat something that I know I shouldn't be eating, like for what my goals that I want to accomplish, I'm like, you know, you shouldn't be doing that. And I feel that, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not, like, it's not a big issue. And it's not like I'm just like I'm not starving myself. Lots of people do intermittent fasting. And yeah, it's been great for me. So totally cool. Yeah, I went on another tangent. Okay. What do you want? What do you not want? Take the opposite of that. That's how you figure out what you want. And don't be afraid to actually figure like what you actually want. If you find yourself and you kind of like, you're being so fake that you can't even handle yourself, and you know what I'm talking about. When you're doing this to people please, and when you're saying when you're asking for what you should want, when you're going, I should want this, and you're like, you know, you're being fake. I'm not the one who's going to judge being fake, although I can tell fake from a mile away. If you're like saying, visualizing what you should want instead of what you actually do want, it's going to be a problem. So be okay. No shame, no guilt. F that shit. Seriously, what do you want? What is going to make you feel bloody fantastic? Focus on that. That's what you want. Okay? Cool. And that's why you're not getting it. You're too worried about what people think of you. Like I said in my last video, if that's really a problem for you, imagine you're laying on a cloud looking down at people and you're creating some distance between you and them. And even if they're like being nasty or whatever, and like, you know, whatever you perceive that they're going to think of you, put some space between you and that. And then just focus on what you want and the feeling, and you will be amazed by the change that happens. All right, I'm Laura Cameron-Stedman. I have got a video freebie on my website, lauracameronstedman.com, and it is called Love Yourself Fierce Edition, which is what you need to do. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, and it's going to help you out with that, which will help you in turn get the life that you want. So come on my website, and we shall see you soon. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions. If you have any questions for me, let me know. I've got a ask me on YouTube or Facebook or on my website. I also have a contact form on there as well. So I'll see you soon.